everyone, this is Crafty Decoria and I hope you're all doing great. So for today's Dollar Tree Craft with Me, I wanted to make something since my daughter is going to be remote learning from home. I wanted to make something that we could look forward to every single day of the month. And so what I decided to come up with is very similar to an advent calendar. However, like I said, this will be used for every single month. So with school starting very soon, my daughter is going to be remote learning from home. So I wanted to have some items around the house that could make a day of learning fun. So what I decided to do was make this so that every day of the month, she could open up a little compartment, either whether I'm using it to place her daily vitamins in there, or perhaps if I want to leave a little treat, maybe I want to put a Bible passage in every day of the month so that we can read it together. Or if it has to do with school, maybe leave spelling word that I want her to learn, or a math equation. Whatever it is, the possibilities are endless. So with this project, I did purchase more items than I normally would, but again, I justify it because if I am going to be using this every single month of the year, then for me it's worth it. And I think it's also going to be a fun thing that my daughter and I can use together. So for the items here in front of me, I have 16 of these little, what do they call them? I guess they're just like little jewelry boxes or drawers, and you do get 2 for every single decor box here. So 16 of those. I do have 4 packs of the magnetic buttons, and there is 14 pieces in each pack. I have the only item that is not Dollar Tree. However, if you do want to keep this all Dollar Tree, you can purchase the black acrylic paint. For this project, it would work really well, but due to time, I'm just going to go ahead and use the Krylon Dual paint and primer. And the reason for that is because at my local dollar store here in town, usually I can pick up paint whenever I find it for $3.99. So for me, it's very worth it because it gets the projects done a lot quicker, and I also do love the finish that they leave. I have some Chalk It Up chalkboard paint, Dollar Tree, paint pen from the Dollar Tree. This is the Jot brand. Now, I'm not sure how this is gonna hold up. I'm thinking that probably for this project, what I'm using it for, I will look for a Sharpie marker in a white or silver gold metallic color. I have this wooden decor plaque, and I have the welcome garden stake that is the windmill. And that's everything. Now at the end, I'm going to show you how I will dress it up for the fall season. But again, this is another fun way to use this piece. It is a larger size piece, but you definitely can dress it up for all the seasons. So without further ado, let's jump into the tutorial. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so to begin the DIY, I'm going to take my wooden plaque, and I forgot to mention you'll need some type of acrylic paint. I just have the Dollar Tree white acrylic paint on hand. I'll be painting the back of the plaque and all the edges. Once that's dry, I'll take my Chalk It Up chalk paint and paint that on the center of the wooden plaque. Then when it is completely dry, I'll take my hot glue and I'll glue it directly underneath the welcome sign of the garden pick. So I'll turn it over and then I'll add quite a bit of glue on the back just to make sure that that plaque is held nicely in place. work with my boxes. So I've just laid them out in the shape that I want them glued together. And so this is to resemble the bottom of the windmill. So I took 5 of the boxes, laid them at the bottom. 4 of the boxes sit on top of the 5, 3 of the boxes sit on top of the 4, 2 of the boxes sit on top of the 3, and then 2 single boxes stacked on top of each other, and they sit on top of the 2. So I will be spray painting these, but before I do spray paint them, I want to adhere my garden stick to the back of the boxes. So I'll just use my hot glue or E6000 and glue the garden stake to the back. And then an extra step that I like to do is take a couple pieces of duct tape, add some E6000 glue to the back of that, and then glue it or place it on top of the garden stake and press it down and let that dry. This way I am really sure that my garden stake is going to stay nicely adhered to the back of my boxes. So then once I've done that, I can go ahead and take my spray paint. Again, I'm using the paint and primer in the black flat by Krylon, and I'll give this a couple coats of the spray paint. Now, when I am spraying this, I'm going to leave the open parts of the boxes. I'm going to lay that flat face down, as I don't want to paint all the pattern pieces here, so that when I go to place my drawers back in place, I'll place them back in the exact box that they came in. So with my drawers, I also have them here to the side. I will take those outside as well, place the open part of the boxes face down, and give those a couple coats of the spray paint as well. My glue to the metal post here, or the metal stake, and it seems to be holding up really well. But just for some extra support, I'm gonna go ahead, I've cut a piece of scrap cereal box here. Like I said, you could use some duct tape, but I can't seem to find where I placed mine. So I'm just gonna add some glue to this and then place it over top of the garden stake to cover it up a little bit. And then I'll go ahead and take that white acrylic paint and paint over the cardboard so that it all blends in. So a couple things before I go take this outside to spray paint it. I decided to remove the little handle on the drawers, and it's very simple to remove. There's like a little screw on the inside that the front part screws onto. So very simple to remove, and I think the silver will look really nice on the black. And then another thing I need to do is just to wrap this wooden plaque here with some saran wrap so that when I go spray it, it doesn't go onto my plaque. Is that not amazing? His body looks like an actual leaf. It even has all the lines in the leaf. Definitely a great camouflage. So the boxes have finished drying, as well as the drawers here. I went ahead and placed the little knobs back into the drawers, and I think they look really, really nice. That silver against the black is really, really sharp. Now what I did as an extra little step here, I took some black acrylic paint that I had from Dollar Tree and my brush, and I just went and painted along the edges here, because you could see the floral or pattern paper, and I know you can see it on the inside of the boxes, but once the drawers are in, you won't see it there. I just really wanted the whole face of this piece to be all black. Now with the drawers, I didn't paint as much on an angle as I should have, so you still can see a little strip along the top, but I don't think it's gonna bother me that much. If it does, I'll just go ahead and take some more black acrylic paint and then apply it to the tops there as well. So now I'm gonna go ahead and insert all of the drawers back into the boxes, and I have one more step to complete before I can show you what it looks all set up. Okay, so all of the drawers are back in their boxes. My daughter and I actually made a game out of it. If we would have had a timer, we could have raced against each other to see who would get the drawers back in the correct boxes in the shortest amount of time. We had a lot of fun. Well, I absolutely love how these drawers look, how the front of this looks. Now again, you can see some of the patterned and floral paper, but it really does not bother me at all, so I'm just going to leave this as it is. But if this is something you're going to make and you want to make sure that that's covered, just take some acrylic paint and apply it to the top to cover it up. So now moving on to the magnetic buttons. So I am going to be gluing a magnetic button on every single drawer. I have 32 drawers in total, and I went with 32 because I needed to make sure that I had enough drawers for the longest months of the year, so 31. But because these drawers come in two, then I have that extra drawer, which will just be a bonus drawer. So I will write the numbers 1 all the way down to 31, and then probably on that last one I'll just make a little smiley face in there, and that should work out fine because I don't have too much room on these magnetic buttons. Now I will be using 3 packs to have enough of the buttons, magnetic buttons for the drawers, but I will have 10 left over. So I'm just going to add them to the sides here, and the sides of this piece of this countdown I'm going to use to place decor so that I can change this up for every single month. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be another way that my daughter can get creative and really use her imagination to come up with items so that we can change this up monthly or even seasonally. Now, because I want to add some decor pieces, I then will need to have another package of the magnetic buttons, so that would be 4 in total, so that I would have enough to place on my decor pieces. But then again, I will have extra left over for another DIY. And then remember, for every month, you're gonna always have to have those magnetic buttons to place on your new decor pieces. So I'm gonna go ahead and place my magnetic buttons on the drawers, and then I'll take my Jot paint pen and write the numbers in. Now, I'm not sure how this paint pen is going to work on the magnetic button. I'll try to make it work for today. If it doesn't work out well, then the next time I'm out, I'll pick up a metallic Sharpie, probably in silver, and then I will permanently write the numbers in. Now, if you didn't want to use the magnets, another idea would be to get a paper clip, and I am going to have an item that is going to be my marker to move for every single day. So you could just take that particular item, glue it to the paper clip, and then you could just clip it to the top of every drawer. This way you don't have to spend that little extra for the magnetic buttons. But I'm gonna go ahead and use the magnetic buttons because I have them, and once I have them all in place, then I will go ahead and show you how I will set this up for the month of October. The extra magnetic buttons that I'm adding to the 4 little ledges on each side of the countdown are really optional. You can just place your items on these areas here without having to put the magnetic button. The reason I am putting it is that if I want to move this piece, then I know that my items are secured with the magnet, so I don't have to worry about them falling off or removing them and then putting them back on. But you definitely could do that, and then you wouldn't have to worry about the magnets on the side of this piece. Okay, so before I begin marking my magnets with numbers and then gluing them in place on the decor boxes, I'm going to make a marker. And with this, I will take one magnet and glue it to the back of an item that's small enough that you can use as your marker to move for every single day. Now, what I would recommend is that when you glue this one in place, test every single magnet that you are writing your numbers on to make sure that they do not repel when you put your marker on. So every time you take a magnet, test it, and then make sure you're writing on the right side. So this here, I've chosen a leaf, and it is orange. Now this particular one I did get at Dollarama. It was a package that had about 50 of these in there with 3 different colors. But I know Dollar Tree sells the, I believe they're called table scatters, and they have the leaves as well. I just couldn't find my Dollar Tree ones in my stash. So this one, I already had it on hand. It was out in a little candy dish that I had, so I just grabbed that one. But definitely, if you like this, then pick up the ones at Dollar Tree because they work great. So I'm gonna go ahead, glue this in place, and then I will write my numbers on my magnets and then glue them onto the boxes. So all my magnets are glued in place with their numbers. So I ended up using the glass writer by Craft Decor, and this I purchased at Dollar Tree, and it worked out really great. If you are going to use this, just make sure that when you're writing on the magnet that you are applying very little pressure, and it'll work a lot better. So now if you did decide that you want to make this and you end up making it and then you forget about checking all your magnets, no worries. Just go ahead and make another marker with another magnet glued in the opposite side. So this way you'll have another one for the magnets where it repels. I ended up making 3, and I'm going to leave these on top at the very top just like that. I think they're so pretty, and this way if I want to change it up I can, or again if you forgot to make sure, and I just did one as an example to check your magnets. So here you see that it works great, but then over here it's the opposite way. Then just make another marker and then it'll work fine. I just really love these. I think they're so pretty. They just look like crystals and they just sit nicely here on top. So the last thing that I have to do, and this again is optional, I'm gonna go ahead and add some magnets to the sides of this piece so that I can also attach little decor pieces with the magnets so they stay nicely in place. So once I've glued my magnets on, I'll go ahead, put my decor in place, and show you what it looks like once it's all complete. So here is my all year round countdown for every month of the year. So here I have it set up for October, as October is drawing near. And I also added a strand of LED lights with the leaves at the tips from the Dollar Tree. I just strung that around the bottom of the windmill so it lights up October. And there is the Welcome October, and all my pumpkins to the sides or on the side of this countdown. So again, I did add the magnets. If you wanted to, you could just sit them there, but I do like the magnets because when I need to move this out of the way, I just pick it up and nothing is going to fall off. Another thing that I thought of just as I was finishing this up, I think it would be a really neat idea to actually paint the fronts of the drawers in the chalkboard paint. This way, for every day, if you had an appointment or you had a special occasion and you wanted to jot that in on the drawer, then you definitely could do that. I just might end up getting some chalk paint and going over that drawer, the face of every drawer, and just adding some chalk paint, so then I can just jot little things on the front of that as well. But I absolutely love this. I ended up placing this on my daughter's desk as she is doing remote learning from home for her school. So I think this will be a really nice thing for her to look forward to every single day, so that she knows what day it is. She can have fun moving the little leaf as the days change, and then as the months change, then she can even write in the next month. And then of course the little surprises that I will leave for her on the inside for every single day. I really like it. She loves it. She was really excited when I placed it here on her desk. So I think that this is a really great DIY to make for yourself, for your kids. If you want to make it as a gift, I think it is something, even though I spent the little extra money for all the items, it is something that I can use for every single day of the year. And I'll have a lot of fun really using the smaller decor items that we can find at Dollar Tree to change this up seasonally. Well guys, that will do it for this DIY. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Share the video if you can. It greatly helps my channel. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love and appreciate it if you did. As always, you guys take care of yourselves, and I hope to catch you in my next video. Bye-bye.